recording anyway. Hello everybody, I'm Thomas Zachary and this is KAAMP. That is the Knoxville Area Artist Network and podcast platform thing. We're recording in the super secret studio today, and we are joined by the noises of birds and the outside lands, for I have the super secret studio windows open. So, cars too, so darn. But today we have a good friend and a very talented vocal artist and musician. Will you please introduce yourself while you pet the cat?
Hey, hey, listen, let's not start there. That's a good introduction. My name's Steph Cabell. I guess I'm a musician about town. I think is my current exploration of self.
Is that what it says on the card?
It says song slinger for hire on the card. That was a Troy design. He designed the cards and
the corn dog?
And the corn dog, the royal corn dog.
That you have tattooed on your body.
Allegedly.
And t-shirts and stickers.
Allegedly. I didn't get my name tattooed in the mustard, which is the important part, because I'm not a narcissist. Well, but also, the tattoo, I believe, was before the t-shirts.
Yeah, that's fair.
But, yeah, that was Troy knocked it out of the park. That's Troy Dunn. He owns a True Blue Electric Tattoo in Knoxville. Stellar human being. I really want to drag him on the podcast today, but
call his ass out. You can do
he
it.
well, he actually would have considered it, but he had some stuff come up, so he couldn't get out of that.
Well, that's fair.
But
Life.
sometime we all got to sit down and do that, because I'd like to just hear y'all talk about art.
Oh Lord, people on this thing hear me talk about it enough.
Well, it's fun when you're talking to somebody who, speaks your language,
True that. So speaking of languages, what kind of languages do you use artistically to do the thing and get down?
I'm pretty inflammatory, probably. My language is, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out. I use a lot of colorful language is the language I use, and that's the stuff that people keep telling me that's my lane lately.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, interesting, because they just want to, I do some arguably shameless cover music.
So would you say raunchy?
Absolutely.
Okay.
But it's not my intention, but it's like I think people know that I'll go there. And so when they come out, they like, I got people at like 8:30 p.m. in West Knoxville, like in Farragut locations. I'm like, play Gin and Juice. And I'm like, it's 8:30. Yeah, sure, why not? And then I'm like, oh, that wasn't probably the move. But I mean, if the majority of your crowd says it's the move,
Well,
I don't know.
If you got a super majority from the crowd, then
It's a tough thing, because I can. I'm a bullshit artist, so I can just pitch. I can plea to the restaurant. When I'm on stage, I'm kind of looking at the reaction of folks, and the service industry mind in me is kind of paying attention to how it's being received and kind of what's working and what isn't, so that I can kind of go there, and it makes a case, for do people who are dining in a restaurant, but at 8:30 p.m., having a good time, do they want to be entertained in that way or not? I'm just arguably always inappropriate, and I think my brand is creeping in that direction in a kind of a way.
I mean,
I'm no Wheeler Walker Jr., but
you ain't afraid to speak your mind.
no, it's not that. I'm not. I'm just a goofball, to be honest. I'm just a goofball.
I mean, I've heard you sing and enjoy singing the word corn dog more than any other human I've ever met in my life.
I don't sing the word corn dog. I sing the word chili dog, because this is a little. It's kind of a bit that I didn't steal. I just am doing the bit. Have you ever seen that TikTok video where the guy does Jack and Diane, but he dubs all the words with chili dog, like sucking on a chili dog. Have you seen this?
No, I've only seen you do it.
Okay, well, it's just a bit that that was a viral thing, and then so I was like, oh, that's funny, I'll do that. But I intro it as Jack and Diane, and then once the sucking on a chili dog happens, it just continues to happen, and it turns into a giant troll because no one knows when I'm gonna stop, including me. So, it's just inspiration, and the more that people can't breathe about it, the more I'm like, we're gonna continue. And then I'm just wheezing on stage, and I just like to have a good time. And ultimately, that's I think that's where my brand's lying these days. It's just like I want to have a good time and laugh. That's important to me. The soothing sounds of South Knoxville, the super secret sound studio.
Steph. Yeah. I warned y'all, trucks and vehicles will be passing by. My window's open. So,
I love it. No, it's nice.
Get to hear all of it.
I'm hoping that dirt bike guy comes by.
If he comes by and he's not doing a wheelie, I'm mad.
If he does a wheelie, I'll step away from the mic to yell for him. Like,
We should tell him to do a barrel roll.
Do a kickflip, do a barrel roll.
Yeah. Do a barrel roll.
Do a kickflip. Yeah. How you doing, Thomas?
Man, today, I'm doing okay today.
Good.
Today was not a bad day, nor was it an amazingly spectacular day. It was a average, wonderful, mediocre day.
I love it.
And that's good to have on a Thursday evening when I don't have to work on Fridays.
Heck yes, sir. I'm excited for you.
A 4-day work week is pretty nice. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie.
I just found out that I might not be working tomorrow.
Hey.
And so, that's great.
Yeah.
But also, if it happens, also great. I'm blessed.
True that, because there's work to be done.
Yeah, and I enjoy it, to be honest. I couldn't sit still if I tried.
No, you wouldn't.
I'm working on it.
Well, you're doing all right now, but
yeah.
you've got something to focus on.
Yeah, the mic helps me. It is.
Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly. I feel like I'm in a very relaxed posture. This is kind of that bit where they talk about, I think it's a Mitch Hedberg thing where he's like, I'm going to do a bunch of jokes that, like, required you to be there in person because he's going to
do all the crowd work.
Yeah, and that's what I'll start talking about. Look at this lava lamp. What? No.
Oh, it's off. I must turn my lava lamp on. How dare I?
It's just a great space.
Oh, God.
Your space brings me joy.
My poor lava lamp. Neglected today.
We're just getting warmed up. It'll be great.
It's got that good 90s tobacco branding on it.
Ooh.
Camel.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
It's Camel?
It's a Camel cigarette branded.
I got a bunch of vintage Camel stuff that I keep finding. And I got a book of, like a tin that's got a bunch of matches in it. And books of matches, and they're like mid-90s NASCAR. Like, it was, and I scored like a bunch of them, and I was like, this is a good day.
I'm here for that.
It's like, yeah.
Most certainly.
Absolutely. It was a good find.
You know what? That almost makes me envious. Like, I would...
I know where to find some. I'll hook you up.
See, that's a wonderful thing that I have absolutely no need for.
I mean, you use matches if you had them.
Yeah, but these are precious for their artistic value.
Yeah, are they more valuable without, like, if the matches are unused?
Oh, in an artistic context or just like a general preservation of a piece of history context, I think it's more important for the historical context. But artistically, I don't think it matters. But, if you want the best preserved box of whatever,
right.
Like, of course you want none of the matches to be missing. I guess.
Yeah, so it's like if you want the art and you want to have burned stuff, though, the happy medium is buy some matches.
If you need that new old stock. Yeah, have good luck finding a damn near 30-year-old box of matches still in a wrapper if it was even wrapped in the first place.
Yeah. Yeah, and the thing is, if you do use the matches and you can hang the little boxes on the wall, have some scratch and sniff art.
Ooh. It would be exclusively short-term viewings only because that smell won't last forever.
Well, but what about the little strip that you strike? Bring your own match. Just strike it.
What you do is you charge people to see you strike this match.
Ooh.
That way they all get the full sensory experience of watching you strike the match from this prestigious box.
Okay.
And
okay.
It's performance art.
You know what? I just had this beautiful vision. It's on your wall. It's dark in here. You have a crowd of people sitting, and it's dark, and you come in and strike the match, and they can only see the art from the light of the match for like 10 seconds, and that's the end of the event.
That's great. I'm here for it.
I would attend that.
Why not?
I would pay money for that.
What is that, like $70?
I'd pay. Are there beverages included?
Of course.
Is there a mixer?
I mean, why not?
Because, I mean, why would you go to an art show if you're not going to just tell people about it, right?
Generally, I'll say BYOB.
BYOB, viewing of a 10-second moment in time.
Yeah. You want to talk about a communal experience? We all watch that one fire live and die together. If you don't understand the metaphorical significance of this, then you're just a dense human being.
And there'll only be 12 showings because that's how many matches are in this book.
Yeah.
We're going places with this idea. Probably to jail, but...
See, this is the kind of shit that we should do at Art Basel, and people would just eat it up, and we'd make $1 million.
Let's do it. I got to be careful. I'll probably give up all my $1 million ideas because I'm on a roll so far. That's a good one. That's a good one.
Well, we don't have to talk about it anymore.
No, it's okay. I'm happy fleshing it out. If somebody wants to roll with it, I'll attend it still, even if they stole my idea.
Listen, if they want to back this venture and fund our hunt for said artistic treasures, for art supply reasons, then they can sponsor this performance art. But that's the only way to get in on this.
You got to bring us some matches or get out.
Yeah, find us these things or give us the money to.
I'm gonna go peep my spot and see if there's another box of them. What's up, Kitty?
That's my co-producer. She likes to give me her input when I'm editing these episodes by walking on the keyboard.
She's rubbing on me.
I mean, she does that. Very cat-like.
Cat. Yeah, I liked. It's funny if you didn't know it was a cat. Cat's out of the bag.
Literally and metaphorically. She'll probably crawl under those covers right there.
I'm here for it.
Like, she's been burrowing into a lot of shit lately.
I've been.
What?
I was gonna say I've been trying to burrow into a lot of shit lately too, but I mostly meant like weighted blankets.
Well, yeah.
This will probably be an explicit episode.
I mean, probably.
Yeah.
I try not to like judge it while it's running how dirty the conversation is, but I just automatically assume from the start that I'm putting an E on this one.
Check out the stickers on my guitar case here. I got the Twisted Wrist, and then I got Michael Galleon's Salacious sticker.
Oh, yeah? So, the funny thing about that particular sticker, it's obsolete now.
Oh,
because I had to change my Instagram handle, and I spelled it wrong. I'm missing a period between Twisted and Wrist. So, you know, that's an original OG screw up.
Nobody wants a missed period.
No, no, nobody, none. So, you know, those stickers are going to eventually be replaced.
I just put that on there the other day. I've been looking for the place. Maybe I should have saved it.
I mean, it's as good, as well displayed right there as it could be anywhere.
Yeah, I think so. Oh, they got a little garden naked sticker from my buddy Chris at Foraged Farms on there, too. Yeah. Little Terraplane Drifter sticker. There's some other ones on there I won't probably read.
I mean, it's hard to read them at this angle anyway.
Oh, I can read them. They're just all ridiculous. But they're very representative of the company I keep. So that's good. That's important to me.
True that.
It's important to me.
So, what kind of music do you like to write?
I don't know yet, to be honest. I'm in infancy stages of like exploring songwriting. I think I've just this year like come to terms with the fact that I'm an artist. And now I'm having a crisis around it, you know? I've been just kind of rolling with live music for like half of my life. And so I think that I never like woken up to my identity as an artist until kind of recently, I feel like. So a lot of the stuff that I'm writing lately has been like a lot of the stuff that I've been listening to, which is a lot more in the country Americana vein. But I'm trying to remind myself lately of like all the different types of music that I really loved, and kind of go back through that because I'm looking for my lane still, you know? And so the more that I play out, the more people are kind of nudging me toward like, hey, we kind of feel like this is your space here, you know, doing some like Sublime What I Got, Everlast kind of vibes, you know. So I get a lot of great feedback from folks that seem to be able to perceive like where I seem most natural. I'm pretty open book, obviously, but you know, with the people I chat with, I also, you know, invite them to, you know, I don't know. I care about quality relationships with folks, and so I invite people openly to, you know,
Give you the feedback.
Yeah, give me feedback, you know, because ultimately, like, that's what we're doing here. Like, as far as my cover art stuff, but you know, I'm trying to use that space, you know, to kind of stretch into different. I do some wild, like I do a strange like assortment of things. Chris Marshall came out to see me the other day, and he was like, "You did Linkin Park," and I was like, "Yeah, it was." And he was like, "I get that. Like, you know, that's cool.
Yeah.
Like, I you know, I try to just do what entertains me, but ultimately, it can tend to muddy the waters of playing covers a lot. Can muddy the waters of like your like authentic what am I looking for here? It's like
I think I get what you're saying. Like it's not,
you know,
it's not your authentic expression if you're doing somebody else's tunes. Is that
not necessarily that, but like, you know, caring about what people want to hear, and you know, trying to read people and trying to kind of make sure you're. It's important to me that everybody kind of feels a part of the experience, because I've been in a room before where like I wasn't having a great time with a live musician, you know, in the room, depending on what it was, you know. And it's like, if people show up and they didn't know there was music, at least they can accidentally enjoy themselves, you know, because it's fun for me to look out and be like, you know, how can I make sure that everybody's kind of having a good time in a way? And that's part of the fun of it for me. But as I start to, you know, try to write and start to create my identity as an artist aside from that, it is like one of those things you kind of have to pay attention to, kind of like how you have to pay attention to what you're listening to, because it influences what you're, well, not just what you're writing, but so much other things, you know. And I'm kind of guilty of just listening to way too much music and like deep diving and getting lost in the sauce, and you know,
lost in the sauce.
So not to ramble, but that's my MO for sure, rambling. But yeah, so I'm right now writing some Americana-esque stuff, but as I'm starting to use songwriting as a tool for processing, I'm really tapping into trying to trying to use like my emotions and the music that I trend towards as like tools for processing as well. Like, you know, if I'm acting like an angry little teenager, I'm gonna put on some Linkin Park, and that's the you know, that was a processing tool for me as a you know, a young person was that. So I'm trying to tap into trying to write that kind of stuff when I'm trying to process those sort of things, if that makes sense. Like the emotion of teenage angst,
Yeah.
or whatever.
Some good Charlotte came on at work the other day.
Hell yeah.
And I was just like, oh, shit.
Oh, man.
I just looked around the room to see whose head was bobbing, and I was just like,
oh.
hey, guys. Lifestyles of the Rich and the Famous is an awesome song.
The Rich and the Famous.
And I bought this album the day it came out.
Oh, I thought you said today. I thought you were going to say today.
No, I bought
Just bought this album today.
Dude. Oh, boy.
I remember distinctly when that came out. I was in middle school, and we were having a field day. And I was listening to it on probably a burnt CD on field day. So, like, it's interesting how poignant the songs of your youth are, because, for me anyway, being a heavy music listener and really being driven by music, it's interesting how timeless, some of that stuff is.
I just instantly remembered being like, however old I was, like 12, 13, whatever it was.
Yeah.
And just be like, damn it. Like, the energy in this song is the
so
shit
good.
that I can't put into words. And that was always pretty cool. I found a lot of punk, hard rock, and heavy metal shit when I was in middle and high school that really put me and helped me through a lot.
Yeah, that's the thing, is something. It was something that you can feel heard through, which is really interesting, and I think that's important. So much good music, so much ridiculous. Like, it was just, I don't know, it was good stuff. Ultimately, I skateboarded a lot as a kid too, so I fell into.
I would have never guessed.
Yeah, because you still dress like a 14-year-old skateboarder,
me, wearing all black.
Oh my god! No, the worst part is, as I tried to take a 20-minute nap, and I got up and I was like, yeah, let's put on some clothes. I think it is all black. Oh yeah, it is all black actually. But then I put on these fucking Vans socks that are like kind of. Like cream and yellow, which is a crime of fashion to have paired it with this all black outfit.
Whatever.
But that's where I was when I woke up, and I went with it. I made a bold fashion choice.
Well, I mean,
but you can't see my socks.
Exactly.
These are socks for radio.
Radio socks.
These is my radio socks. Yeah. So, I listened to a lot of Limp Bizkit when I was in. I moved here to Tennessee in the 6th grade from South Florida, which was very much a culture shock in every sense of the word. And I remember riding the bus to the intermediate school with my burnt Limp Bizkit CD and my freaking CD player that couldn't fit in my pocket.
So you just carried it?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And Limp Bizkit, like, every time I drive through Maryville past, like down Sandy Springs, I'm thinking about Limp Bizkit in my mind. Just know that. Oh, just know that.
I remember being in elementary school when Kid Rock's first album dropped and got really big.
Oh.
So, the teacher's like checking out the CD player one day, and she finds a CD, and it's just like the middle finger on the cover.
That's gold. I love it.
Her face. Oh God.
Oh man.
I was like, what's going on here? Like, I didn't have the social context for what flipping the bird meant. So she just had no clue what was in there, and then she's greeted by a black and white image of somebody flipping the bird. This is 4th grade. 4th grade.
Oh my gosh. I love it. Are you from here?
Knoxville, no. Upper East Tennessee, Hancock County, yes.
Right on.
Moved here, let's see. Moved here just before my 21st birthday. I will be 32 this month.
Nice.
Yeah, been rock and rolling ever since.
Heck yeah, ever since 4th grade.
Yeah, ever since 4th grade.
My name is Kid.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
The whole 9 yards.
That's so great. I love that.
we were playing the king size, the extra large checkers on the rug.
Nice.
And I was listening to the thing. It's like, oh, what's this?
Yeah.
It was great.
I love that.
Of course, retroactively, that was great because, several years later, I realized how awkward that was.
It's interesting in perspective, like what you don't see as weird as a kid, and you look back and you're like, oh my God,
I present you the example of Rocco's Modern Life.
Rocco's Modern. Yeah, no doubt.
Watch any episode of that show today.
Oh yeah, and you're like,
as an adult.
Yo. And then at the time we're like, why won't our parents let us watch this?
No, I could watch it. It wasn't, verboten for me, but I really enjoyed it, but for totally different reasons.
It's so funny though to think
of a cow, a turtle, and a wallaby all hanging out, getting into misadventures. Fuck yeah,
I'm in.
Now it's just like, dear God, these people are all adults but tortured. Why?
Yeah, it's very interesting to look back at some of that and to see how that influences so much of like your humor going forward in life and your, oh my gosh, your metric for normalcy maybe even, I don't know.
Oh, the scale, the normalcy scale. That's not even, fuck. Let's dive in on that for a second.
To the normalcy scale?
And that's relative to the person.
Yeah.
And so wildly relevant to the person.
Yeah.
Rocco's Modern Life is probably like smack dab in the middle at zero normalcy.
Zero normalcy.
Well, yeah, it goes
Fair.
up in the positive numbers and goes down in the negative numbers.
Yeah. Do you watch Adventure Time?
Oh, of course.
So good.
When that first came out, I was a much more naive human being, so it was. I guess I either projected onto it less or understood less of it.
Yeah, right on.
Not all of it has some highbrow ideas behind it, but some of it does.
Yeah.
And sometimes just not able to pick up on all those.
Yeah.
I've rewatched good portions of the series here and there.
The rewatch is important.
Oh, of course.
Each time you kind of can, pick up a little bit more. And whatever's relevant to you at the time.
I think the last series I went through and rewatched was, oh goodness, I think it was Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, that one's good.
Yeah, I'm not. I've got so much TV to watch, and I don't watch
too much.
I just don't watch TV much because I don't allow myself to slow down. And when I do, I'm like, oh, this is luxurious, but then I'm lost for a while,
Right, yeah.
So I've done some, a little binge watches here and there when I've allowed it, and that's usually when I get sick, which says something about my impulse control, like not my impulse control, but more so my inability to just slow the heck down, And my body's like, I'm gonna make you sick, so you gotta stop.
Yeah, haha, bitch.
And I'm like, all right, I hear you. I've been ignoring the signs for months. It's okay. Mm-hmm. These gummy bears are impressive.
You know what? You're talking about the gummy bears. I'm gonna go for these nuts.
I brought you these nuts. Those are good.
Yeah.
I went hard for those.
Coconut cashew.
Gosh, it's if you know about these, you know about these.
If you know, you know.
You about to know about these nuts. Have you ever had these?
I'm about to have it in my mouth right now.
Oh no, a little ASMR. You can't hear the gummy bear squishing. I'm not going to do that to you. Oh my God. Whatever viewership we had, it's like, nah, dog. No, nope.
No, I won't make them suffer through it for long.
I'm not going to squish the gummy bears in the mic.
These shit's delicious.
They're addicting. You got to be careful with them. You mow through them. They're so good. Now, a word from our sponsors.
I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry. No, we were talking about adulty shit. The rewatch is super important because the rewatch brings context. Like initially, you're just kind of entertained by the whole thing,
Right.
and then you get to like peer into it a little more.
Yeah.
And I really enjoy rewatch 2 and 3, and then if I do a fourth one, dear God, what have I done?
Yeah. What I like about a rewatch is, I don't know, my brain kind of works in strange ways.
As they do.
Yeah, as brains do. And a lot of times when I'm watching a movie, I will like watch the actor acting the part more so than
Like
get lost in
seeing
the entertainment of it, you know? I think that's just like, there's so many lenses you can watch a movie with, you know?
Ooh,
if you're
yeah.
looking at and I learned that like Maryville High School, boy. I learned that in my honors English class. You know, we watched like Dead Poets Society and a couple other films, and really stopped them in chunks and like analyzed, you know, a lot of the symbolism and kind of dove into a lot of stuff like that with various teachers. Kind of did that, and it taught me to really enjoy playing with like the different lenses that are possible for seeing something.
That's a really good fucking movie.
So good.
Spoiler alert, you need to go see it.
Spoiler alert, Dumbledore dies.
Yeah.
I almost didn't want to say that in the mic because I would be heartbroken to know that I ruined. Anyway, I'm not gonna say it.
No, you.
It's your fault by now if you haven't
Yeah,
seen
for
this.
real. If you don't know this story by now, it's your
Yeah.
fault.
Story as old as time.
It's like telling people how Vanishing Point ends. Like this movie's been out since like 1974.
Yeah. There's like a clause on when you should even alert anybody.
Yeah.
This ain't a spoiler.
This is an old movie. You want to know how it ends? Ha! Here you go.
That would be a great bit to do. It's like start listing off popular movies and just jumping the spoilers and just like in a list. Imagine you're stuck in a restaurant and the musician on stage starts
Quits playing music and just holds
and
her guitar.
starts to list all of these popular movies or books and just drops the hammer on the spoilers like one after another.
Then that'd be a rewatch in an instant. That'd be
That'd be a
perfect.
great closing time thing if you're trying to get everyone out of a bar.
Oh man. 2:30. Here I come.
I'm such a jerk.
Don't act like you wouldn't enjoy it.
I wouldn't do it, but I love the idea of it.
Right. It would entertain you greatly.
Yeah, absolutely. I would be cackling. Like, I would be
Oh, I would be
uncontrollably cackling.
Yeah, that'd be ridiculous.
Until it came to my spoiling. Until, you know.
If somebody
So
yells
somebody hit me with a hammer. Like, they drop the, you know, they break my heart. Then it's over. Then I have to go too.
Right. Then,
No, I'm
it's,
just
then
kidding.
it's come full circle.
Like, hey. I was watching this, I can't recall the comedian's name. Nanette is the name of the special on I'll think of it, on Netflix. And she started talking about like how comedy's job is to create tension and then relieve the tension.
Yeah.
And how that's affected the storytelling of her life, like the story she tells herself. And it was a really incredible special because it got kind of heavy. But yeah, it's fun to play with. It's just, I don't know, I just enjoy comedy. It's very important to me. I think that's what I'm doing. Well, I tell people that what I'm doing is like me playing music was a bit and nobody's called me on the bit. It just got out of control. And now I'm like, oh shit, I gotta figure out what I'm doing up here. You know, it's kind of one of those things where I was like, oh, this is accidentally happening. I should probably figure out how to do this.
Yeah.
You know?
Nobody from the crowd has been like, ha ha, I see what you're doing.
Yeah. Yeah, I see. But no, I love music and I'm looking for my place in it, you know? Because there's so many lanes, that aren't playing live music as well,
Yeah,
definitely. And I have hope for some like community spaces in Knoxville, like surrounding music. I grew up with a lot of that. I grew up going to Crossroads Cafe when I was a kid. Had a bunch of like Christian-esque hardcore bands and stuff at this coffee shop. And that was really important, like space of validation for me as a kid. And then when I was a kid in Florida, grew up going to the Boys and Girls Club, like having spaces, throughout my life that were community based was important, but also music was such a part of that I have, I don't know, I'm real curious to see where music takes me, I don't know. So right now I'm exploring the songwriting aspect of it, and it's proving to be really interesting because I'm trying to use that as a tool for growth, and to just be more and more like honest with myself and authentic, So it's interesting to be also in the entertainment spectrum of music,
So it'd be bad to drop Pony and then do like a really honest original.
The thing is, that's what I do, and people love it because they're like, "Yeah, that's for real." Like we're having a good time, but people, I got a couple songs that I'm comfortable with calling done, and people ask for them, and to see people singing them is wild to me, especially after I definitely just did "Fuck Her Gently" by Tenacious D right before that, and I will preface that, if there is anybody listening right now, not all of my repertoire is dirty. In fact, I have hours of eclectic, palatable music. But everybody seems to be like, like, we know you'll go there. And, the thing is, I kind of am waiting for somebody to tell me where the line is, and for the most part, nobody's stopped me. And so then everybody's like, but it's interesting to watch the business owners learn about it too, because when they see their crowd is like, give us more, like, we want some more Missy Elliott. I'm like, well, they are asking, what should I do? And then when I ask the owners and I ask the managers, like, can we go here? Sometimes I ask, sometimes I don't. Usually I try to get a cue from somebody that's okay. Yeah. Like, I'm like, I kind of ask permission. I like this to be a consensual fuckery.
Well, that is generally best for everyone involved.
But it's funny, though. I think a lot of people probably also watch to just see how far I'm going to go. And sometimes they're like, wow, we didn't know you would go there. And I did. And sometimes I think, oh, I have no control over it because it's just something that kind of happens, But I think that there's a part of me that's looking to always, like, shock myself too. I don't know, like, I think there's a part of me that is just kind of hops on the vibe train and rides it, and it's like, wow, okay, we went here. That's where the vibe went, and
dear God, what's next?
It's fun. Well, and that's the thing. I think every time it's different. I don't ever have a set list. Every time I try to make one, it somehow disappears from my no, straight up, like, the app that I used to generate it, like, it's like it disappears, and then I'm like, huh, all right, I guess we're just rolling, and it's a lot of fun. It's it's kind of, to a degree, improvisational, but also it's just fun because each time, like, it's different based on who's there. It's kind of like a group amusement park ride. Yeah, that's kind of how it is. Together. Yeah, we're all in this together.
Click, 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 click.
Yeah.
Click, click.
I don't know that it's a roller coaster. It's kind of, I think it's more, I think it's like wide, like the pirate ship ride, but kind of a log flume situation, maybe. I don't know what the amusement park, I don't know. That's what that's how I'll ask people, and from now on, how they perceive me. It's like which ride are we getting on tonight?
Live performance was a roller coaster and or amusement park ride. Which roller coaster and or amusement park ride would it be?
I like that. That'll be the thing.
I will put that as a question with the episode.
Yeah, ultimately I'm just trying to figure out, trying to explore my lane.
Right.
And sometimes it's helpful to know what track you're on.
So, what? I can't decide which question I want to ask more. Which artists influence you a bunch? Who are you inspired by? That kind of ordeal.
I've got only Kid Rock. No, I'm just kidding.
Are you gonna run for Senate?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah, me and the Nuge.
Oh god.
It's gonna be. Could you imagine how intense that would be? Me and Ted Nugent running for Senate. Jesus, that's gonna be my new merch shirt.
Oh god, please.
That's really gonna go well.
Boy.
Oh my god,
boy.
That's gonna be the next merch shirt.
Oh god.
Sold.
He'll sue you. He'll sue the shit out of you.
No. I would plead to. I could work with him. We could work together. We'll figure out.
Good luck with that.
There's gonna be world peace, surprisingly.
Could
you imagine
if Ted
me
Nugent
and
brought
Ted
him
Nugent
y'all
get together?
Oh my goodness! I don't know if that cohesively combines democracy or if it breaks it apart. I have no
They've destroyed
clue.
the structure,
But
and
we
somehow it's all
But
okay.
we have world peace.
Oh my God, world
And you
peace is
tore down-
dismantling the structure.
And you tore down democracy.
Oh
from
my
the
gosh.
inside.
I gotta get Troy to draw this up. It's gonna be a campaign. Yeah, this is gonna be good. I don't know what animal we're gonna be riding though.
Ooh,
Probably a wild boar.
please
Me and Ted Nugent on a wild boar campaigning
for Senate.
for Senate. Yeah, it's
Would y'all
gonna.
be co-senators?
Yeah, I
We
think
are the
so.
elected pair.
Like it. Yeah. This is a good idea.
I fully advocate for this too.
So who are my influences?
Yeah. Other than Ted Nugent.
Oh my gosh. Stranglehold is such a good song, I'm not gonna lie. So right now, like I'm trying to think on this more the more I'm asked, because I've got a lot of influences, but I just so much am kind of like very influenced by what I'm currently listening to, which is forever going to be Tyler Childers for the rest of my life. Because I really enjoy, watching his musical journey unfold. Right now I'm listening. I don't even know if I'm should say this, because I just got into them this week, but I think they're canceled. I don't know. The 1975. Have you ever listened to them?
No.
I don't think they're canceled as much as the singer. I don't know. I really don't know. But it's a bop. They're so good. They've been apparently a band since they were 13. So for 20 years they've been putting out music, which the concept of that is very neat.
Yeah.
So I've been shamelessly fucking grooving to that lately. What got me playing guitar was, I don't know what got me playing guitar. Ultimately, what it was, my stepmom was working at Blockbuster when I was in middle school.
Blockbuster.
Yeah, boy. And when I was in middle school, and she worked with two guys who were of the band Your Favorite Hero, the punk band around town, and I think just being around them a little bit was combined with the music that I tended to listen to in that time was what probably got me started playing and going to see live music, at some of these places. So it's combination of growing up in the churches around here, and also combined with this other half of me, which was nobody understands me.
Yeah.
Music, and so they basically taught me my first chords on guitar. I got a guitar at Tommy Covington's little guitar shop in downtown Maryville when it was there, dusty old guitar shop, and when I was 14, and they taught me some of my first chords. They taught me Big Me by the Foo Fighters and Radio by Alkaline Trio.
Oh boy.
Yeah, those were my first songs on guitar, and some basic chords, and then I just kind of took off with it and strummed a little bit, but ultimately ultimately, what made me really pay attention was my friend Mason's mom and dad were big Stevie Ray Vaughan fans, and
Oh shit.
yeah, and so they were watching the Live at El Macombo DVD.
Yeah.
In the living room one day when I was over there, we were watching probably upstairs watching some E-Bombs World videos, or I don't know, buying a black sheep, and we'd run downstairs to get some thin crust pizza and some Mountain Dew,
And you heard this magic coming
and
from the
yeah,
speakers.
and what struck me was he was playing Lenny, and I was like, "What is this?" And I sat, and she was like, "Hey, check this out."
Yeah, get over
And I was like, okay. And that was what really got me. My buddy Mason at the time was a fantastic bass player, and he was really into the Red Hot Chili Peppers at the time. I was listening to a lot of different types of music, but ultimately that's like the first moment that I remembered hearing the blues. So,
Oh shit! Like I remember when I heard the blues for the first time. That's what you just said.
Yeah.
Ah!
Yeah, and that's kind of what it was. And then so I started ultimately didn't really do a lot of exploration of the blues at the time until I was 19 and started going to I played with a bunch of musicians who would go to the Smoky Mountain the Smoky's Place Blues Jams. I keep wanting to say Smoky Mountain Blues Society. The Smoky's Place Blues Jams in Fountain City, and then I started like being around the blues, and that really inspired me, but ended up kind of being too afraid to play in front of anybody. Was definitely like, so I never really played at the jams. I would play percussion at the jams because that's what I kind of got pushed into doing. When I started playing in like youth group, everybody's like, "Hey, we all want to play guitar, play this, play percussion." Like somebody's got to do it, kind of. Yeah. Like now, ultimately, I got to play around town. My the guy who was my youth pastor was an angel human being. He was a secular musician as well, and we played together in coffee shops. So he got me started playing live music. I think I was like 14. And is still just a beautiful human being, and taught me a lot as well. He was an influence, Kermit Easterling. He's fantastic. And between me encountering him and these guys teaching me some chords, and me encountering the blues, Stevie Ray Vaughan, like I said, big influence, but not necessarily in the way of my playing or anything, but just one of those people who cut through and made me want to play. Yeah. And so now I'm just now having to go, and I'm just now digging into the blues on guitar because I was just way too afraid to like hop up and do it. I was just too self-questioning, I think. And ultimately, when everybody around me is screaming at me that I can do something and I am not doing it, it's kind of like, get over yourself, This first time I sang in front of anybody was kind of I had somebody who had the balls to tell me to get over myself, and I was sitting with some musicians, and there's this blues band called the Stella V's. We were all hanging out at our buddy Paul's, and we were just kind of playing some guitar and singing, and everybody's passing around instruments they don't typically play, and it's a little jam, and I'd never really sat around and did a lot of that. And at the time, I was way too afraid to sing. And everybody's taking turns, and they were like, "All right, you sing something." And I was like, no. And then they're like, "What?" Like the guy, the singer Jason, he was like, he was like, "It's not that big of a deal. Like, you can, like, basically kind of get over yourself." In the way that he pitched it to me. And it just lobbed the ball. It just it lobbed the ball over to me, and I had something to do with it. And it was like, what are you going to do this? Are you going to like just sit here and be a sad sack where people everybody else in the room is just, no matter how good or bad they are, just having fun and doing it. Exactly. Are you going to allow that, And I finally did. And, and then I was like, okay, interesting, and people were encouraging, and they're like, see, you didn't get hurt, did you?
Yeah, right.
And so I just started exploring my voice, about 5 years ago, I think. About 5 years ago. So for me, I haven't really connected a lot of, now that I'm finally starting to admit that I'm an artist, I'm coming to terms with this. I've been in denial. I think that I'm starting to have to really pay attention more to what I'm listening to and really evaluate what I am influenced by, because, like I said, I do get caught up in the momentum of, what I'm up to, in that kind of, this is what I'm listening to now. It's influencing me. So I haven't really dug into, vocally, who would be my influences. Right now, I really love Morgan Wade. Of course, I love Stevie Nicks. But I can't say that any of those folks inspired me to, are my vocal influences, but those are voices I am inspired by, if that makes any sense. It's weird to be at this point of doing this for this long and be like, hey, you're an artist, you should try it, It's a weird realization. But I've been doing some self-work,
Well, how's it fit? How you feel about it?
How's it feel to do music?
No, how does it fit, the title of artist? How do you feel about it?
Oh, I'm it's like, I don't know, some days it's like twerking into 2 small scrub pants. You ever done that? It's terrifying. And some days I'm in some sweet sweats, I'm really blessed, but I'm trying to, I don't really know. It's so weird because what I do on stage in my cover persona is very much my art, but it's just one aspect of it. So I think I'm having some, it's an interesting self-actualization tool to play with.
Yeah.
I don't know if you find that in your art.
Let's go. So, when you're on stage, do you ever, when you're having a good night with the crowd, all right, do you experience flow state or zen or anything on stage or in your writing process or when you're performing in general?
Yeah, absolutely.
When do you find that?
I find that when stylistically, there are certain momentums that happen when it's a lot of freestyling, mashup kind of stuff, where it's just pandemonium and it's like, ooh, where can this fit here? When I find a song that in my brain is 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 other songs, and we can just go there on a whim, and everybody is like a part of it, and they're like, oh, what is happening? We're having a great time. And people are throwing stuff out, or I'm, there's a moment that happens when, people are riding the wave with you, and I think for me, it's so important, to connect with folks, more so than it is about me being up here. The way that I see it, if I'm playing out somewhere, in an establishment that's hired me, my job is to entertain people. If you buy a ticket to my show, I have a little, you're getting what I give you kind of thing, in a way that, it's like, but if I'm being hired by a place to I'm more successful and the vibe is better and we have a better time if I really, try to connect with people. And then each time it's like something different comes out, and I never know what I'm really going to play, until people start reacting and responding, and I just kind of go in that direction, and eventually I find a rhythm, in rotation of style choosings that really hits. And then some nights it's like, this is a job. Oh my God. It's difficult to entertain eclectic rooms of people like that. You know, if I was hosting a show and it's a ticketed event and you're here to see me, like, I know you're gonna enjoy. You came to see me. You know what you're.
Right.
You know you're coming for this.
You're
you know,
on it.
but I think it can be difficult, especially depending on your your personal state of mind. You know, your state of well-timed burp of sobriety. I'm drinking LaCroix. Entertaining drinking people, entertaining people who are having a good time, who don't really see what you're doing as a job. Therefore they're like, fucking, it's 8:00, play some Wheeler Walker Jr. at this bar. And I'm like, guys, like, I have to get hired back here.
Yeah, it's like, I can't play fuck you, bitch.
Well, and that's it. And that's the least offensive one that I play of his,
Right.
So it's kind of one of those things where, I can get carried away by the vibe. But, I experienced that interpersonally quite a bit. And I enjoy that. The soothing sounds of Knoxville.
Diesel trucks.
Diesel nuts.
The rattling hum.
Yeah. So yeah, that's my flow state. I think happens it's a co-created thing, a lot of the time. What were we at before that? You would have circled back around to it flawlessly.
The thing I wanted to also ask is, do you find it in your personal? Do you find it when you practice or when you write music, or when you're having a good creative day? Do you find flow staters in or happiness in a good creative day, whatever that is?
Where I've had to remember is to sit down and play for the joy of playing. I did that when I was a kid, I feel like, but then when I started doing cover stuff, it starts to become like, if you got a few minutes to play guitar at home, work up a new tune, do this or that, because every time I play a show, I aim to have another song to throw into the mix, or one or more. And because I like to keep me entertained too,
Yeah, right.
And so for me, I kind of got in this rhythm where I didn't play at home a lot because I played out so much. And when I did play at home, it was like, hey, either learn a new tune or two, or post a video, or something for socials that, can help, do what social media does for you. And so I'm having now to remember to just make the space to just play for the joy of it. And I just started taking guitar lessons, which sounds silly, but I started taking guitar lessons, and that it's helping me to have focused play, where I can have more familiarity around the fretboard and really start to connect. I was jamming with some friends the other day, and I never really get to do that. I never really get to sit down and just play with some folks who are just down to hold a safe space and just let everybody, groove. And we just locked into the most fat, warm little space and just had a great time. And it was a place to, it was a great place to safely fumble around, and I was like, man, this is nice. So I'm just now starting to really explore the guitar, in a way that's, I feel like I can speak, but I don't know my ABCs, if that makes sense. So now that I'm doing that, I'm finding the flow state in just like a kid again, enjoying sitting and playing with some stuff. And then when, honestly, I'm about to plug in the electric a little bit more than I have been, because every time I do, it pulls me out of my headspace, in a way that, because it's foreign to me a lot of the time, I end up writing a lot more like Tosh Sultana kind of stuff, and some really interesting stuff that reminds me that is more vibe based than the acoustic guitar. I don't know how to explain it. So I think that'll pull me in another direction, because I've been pigeonholed by myself and by by the music I've been listening to obsessively into this Americana-brained songwriting.
And that's a lot of acoustic guitar.
And a lot, I'm more comfortable writing some like Mac Miller kind of music, that's got feeling. But there's, and there's some vocal, but there's a lot more. The presentation of hip hop makes way more sense to me, lyrically. I get trapped in the process right now of like the formula when I'm trying to write stuff that isn't like, I feel like I can write pretty effortlessly and in a flow state when I'm listening to backing tracks and just basically writing poetry. I find I have overcomplicated songwriting in my brain. I'm very aware that it is me, and I'm trying to just step out of that right now, lately, and just kind of find that flow state. And I'm finding I get limited in my guitar playing in my writing process. I get limited by my guitar playing in my writing process. So if I put on a backing track and get out of my own way, it's a little bit easier for me to let that happen, because it sounds more like what I'm hearing in my mind, than what I'm capable of, banging out on the old acoustic.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And not to say that I can't, I have dexterity, I have knowledge, but I haven't really sewn it all together, I just have pages, but they're not, in a book,
They're not compiled.
Mm-hmm. No, very physically they're not compiled. I'm like always rifling through my drawers and finding partial lyrics from the past 20 years, almost 20 years of me pretending I'm not a songwriter.
Right.
And now I'm like, hey, you should probably do something with all these partial lyrics you've got,
Yeah, stick them all together, make one big song.
Yeah, the saga. That's what
you close your show with.
Yeah. I'm afraid it would be the whole show. The saga, yeah. What did I close it with last night? I feel like I closed with something sweet. I don't know. I'm sweet from time to time.
You're capable. I've seen you do it.
I was talking to a pal the other day about, this and that, philosophizing and psychoanalyzing. And he was like, if anybody's capable of taking what you've been through in your time and doing something great with it, it's you. And I was like, man, I appreciate that. And I was like, and then I said, I feel exceptionally capable but crudely equipped.
Ooh.
And I was like, that's gonna be my tagline now. I think it's gonna be my Hooters delightfully tacky yet unrefined kind of brand, kind of shirt. That'll be good.
I'm here for it.
Exceptionally capable and crudely equipped.
Oh, the media for you and Zach's shenanigans have been really cracking me up lately with the really distorted, cartoony,
that's Troy.
Yeah.
He's so good. He's so good. I wanted to get him here tonight, but I'll have to get him on sometime. He's fantastic. But yeah, he's just quick with it too. He's so good at what he does. He's just an art school nerd. And he's a great pal. He's a good one.
Yeah, and to be honest, I enjoy a lot of the media you put out to advertise your music with.
Appreciate that.
It's silly and entertaining.
Yeah, it's very awkward to self-promote,
It is.
especially on my personal page. It feels a little pretentious sometimes when my job is to promote myself, but these people, that I've known in various ways, not just through my music, are probably like, Jesus Christ, stop talking about yourself. And it's like, if you were following my music page, which I don't use because the algorithm is atrocious, then it wouldn't be so pretentious feeling,
Right.
But I just tried to roll with what the algorithm I don't want to have to pay to boost my posts right now because I'm too kind of all over the place with a lot of it. I'm having to try to catch up on some of that. Like, how do I make these platforms, work for me in a better way? And so now that I'm left the day job, I'm really trying to dig into a lot more of that side of things. The content I put out is, it's not all about the music stuff, but it is my job to promote it, so then it's like, okay, how can I, I'm just a goofball, so I'm just sharing with, obviously, you can hear in this conversation, I'm just willing to kind of pair anything together in a way that amuses me, so today's post, was amusing to me and I paired a lot of amusing things to me, and that was my post, but I'm just a goober, and that's the brand. So it's okay, it works.
It works really well, I think.
I'm a self-proclaimed goober.
Well, if anybody's going to call themselves a goober, I would perhaps expect it first out of you.
I appreciate that. I think. No, I'm just kidding. I definitely do. It's great, it's kind of like when somebody insults you and you're like, thank you. But you're perceiving it as a compliment.
Right.
That's what's wrong with you.
On purpose.
Yeah, for sure.
So much.
Yeah, I'll take it. No, I mean, that's a good assessment.
I'm here for it.
Yeah, I like it.
I your gooberness.
Appreciate that. The goober in me sees the goober.
Yes.
Yeah.
I recognize the goober in you.
Yeah. I don't know what the namaste-esque saying is for that, but yeah.
It's just sup goober.
It's not a guru. Gubru.
Oh God.
Yeah, I apologize.
So, how does Knoxville treat you as a creative person in town these days?
Better than I deserve, I think.
Yeah.
Better than I deserve. I have an absurd amount of support, and it's for whatever I want to do. Really, I've done a lot of things that aren't my lane that I've been wildly supported in, which is hilarious to me. But it's endearing, So Knoxville's been good to me, and I'm really grateful to just have a lot of personal, friends who have spaces here that I get to play in, and to help them grow and to help them, create, spaces where we can share our art in various new ways, and so I want to be a part of positive change for artists in the area, as we grow, because it's not always that great to a lot of people, it's the scruffy thing, it's and the more people that move into town, the scrappier people get, and so some people,
True.
And, Knoxville's been really, really great to me. I love it here. And I'm excited, to be in more and more spaces, and that's all on grace, People reach out to me, and somebody says something kind to somebody, and then, you get a gig here, and it's just but that's put out in kindness and interactions, when I converse with people, it's important to me to have a human moment for a second, and that continues, that continues on when somebody says something sweet to me about to a club owner or something, and then all of a sudden they contact me and are like, hey, we would love to have you in our space, and it's just cool. Knoxville's been a neat spot to me. So far as I know, to be honest,
Right.
maybe that's a distorted perception of self, but you know what? It's one I prefer to be in, because I got a lot of other distorted perceptions of self that are not a lot of fun.
I certainly don't mind this bias.
Well, ultimately, I'm pretty unforgiving to myself, in a lot of ways, and so I think that if I can choose to focus on, some positive stuff. It's like I'm gonna hang on to this balloon for a minute, for as long as I can.
This balloon.
Yeah.
Oh goodness.
So, I don't know, man. I'm just, I'm in a grateful space. I'm in a space that I was able to, at least with the current variables of my life, step away from my day job for a little while and just kind of explore my artistry, which is a privilege.
Yeah.
That's not something that a lot of people get the opportunity to do, and that's not just
or realize they can afford themselves the opportunity.
Yeah, and that's I struggle in the valuation of my self, and that reflects in my ability to communicate around monetizing my art. It's very uncomfortable to me, and so I'm having to, as I step away from some more arguably secure forms of income, it causes me to have to reckon with that a little bit and to say, hey, you need to start valuing yourself appropriately because it matters.
Yeah. Now,
and it matters for Knoxville. It matters for Knoxville that musicians are not undervaluing themselves so that other musicians can get paid what they're worth too.
Yeah.
Because if they see that somebody's going to work for this, they're always going to opt to pay somebody less than they can. It's business, and so undervaluing yourself damages the community, and in more ways than money.
Yeah.
And I think I think I'm putting myself in a position to have to reckon with my value, and I'm hoping to use songwriting as a tool for that. But it's an interesting thing, living off your art for a while, because it can change your relationship with art so much,
Yeah, for sure.
because, some people get nervous and start, booking a bunch more gigs at places they don't really want to play, that don't really resonate with them, and really can damage your relationship, with music and stuff. So, it's an interesting thing. So I'm trying to be, this isn't to say I don't have 90 other strange outlets and other possibilities for income, but they're all in creative ways,
That's a real long way to say you sell feet pics.
That I what?
That you sell feet pics.
I sell feet pics, period. That's what I was trying to say. I have 90 other forms of feet pictures for you. No, it's I'm blessed to be able to pick up, work with a lot of folks that, I can, that I love, and I just need an extra hand here or there. I love getting to work in shops. I love getting to just pick up and learn something new. So I don't have a lot of fear around, will there be opportunities? No. Because what I'm finding the older I get is, like, if you're just trustworthy and don't steal shit and you show up on time, people will fucking hire you, man.
Yeah.
It's amazing to me. When I started doing construction, I was like, oh, I don't even need to know shit yet. Like, you'll teach me as long as I don't steal your tools or I don't show up late. People are very willing to give you. If you're willing to give, they're willing to give. There's always opportunities. Yeah. What I have trouble with is determining which opportunities are mine, because I'm codependent, and I'm like, yeah, I can help you out. And then it's like, oh shit, I accidentally do a job now that I definitely was not trying to do, because I was just trying to help solve, be a homie, but it's taken me some really interesting spaces, and I feel very well equipped to pick up work in, kind of in any, not only well equipped for that, I feel willing to try new pursuits. I've done a lot of interesting jobs. I've been a CNA. I've been, I worked in wood shop. I've done bartending, all kinds of weird stuff. But for me, it's just a matter of like, how can you take that and learn from it, but also, and take something away from it, but then also just figure out like how to fit that into your life currently to like maintain some joy. Like, it's like, what's the dynamic I need to have with this? I've got a lot of part-time jobs, is what I'm saysaying.
Right. Yeah. Yep.
But like multiple at one time, because there's an ebb and flow all the time where I'm around here or there, and I'm just trying to ride the wave, but it's like I'm in a wave pool sometimes and I don't know what the fuck's going on, so I don't know. I'm a rambler in every sense of the word.
I think that's a pretty fair description. Wave pool, don't know what the fuck's going on. I get that.
Sometimes it's fun. Sometimes it is not. Sometimes you're getting road rashed on the bottom of the shitty fucking pool. Oh. And sometimes, you're in the deep end hitting a big,
Yeah.
Or drowning, man.
Yeah,
the wave pool life.
I just hope my floaty stays floaty.
We're all just trying to survive the wave pool life. Sometimes you're getting yeeted into 12 children on a floaty.
Them kids better watch out.
We got...
Coming through.
Dude, oh my gosh. What a beautiful visual. Just wiping out some children in a wave pool. Yeah, dude, if you go full spread, you could do some damage, but you got to be careful.
Look,
You got to be careful. It's a lawless land out there.
They're in the way.
No, I'm just saying, protect your teeth and shit,
Oh, yeah.
No, it's not. Like, don't worry about them. Nah, fuck them kids.
They should move. Right.
You better learn. This is everybody's wave pool. Were you looking for the kiddie pool, son?
Over there. Over there.
It's over there. This is not a pool of gentleness. This is the pool of life. You better learn.
You gotta ride the waves. Or else you die.
Or else you get taken out by a girthy fella.
Yeah.
Comparatively.
I mean, there's certainly times I've been thrown around in the water. I've been tackled by somebody that I thought was particularly unpleasant.
Or you're going down the water slide and the larger guy with the most mass comes up behind you and catches up, and or it's me, I'm the larger person, terrifyingly screeching into a smaller person. I've many a times been the larger mass in a water slide, terrifyingly hurtling towards somebody I may or may not know with gusto.
Gravity-powered gusto.
Yeah, and kind of shame-powered gusto, because there's times where
you are a victim of physics at this point.
yeah, but also like my mass was a little my fault sometimes. Sometimes, not
in the context of a water slide.
This is a lawless land. Science ain't the only puppeteer. The soothing sounds of Knoxville.
Oh my goodness. There's some loud vehicles that live in this neighborhood, which I particularly enjoy.
Yeah.
The gentleman in the house just across the street and up the hill, he's got a Camaro, and I hear it every
Heck
morning
yeah.
at like 5:35 to 5:40. He just cranks it over and goes to work. I'm just like, he's leaving. I should be leaving.
Yeah. That's America's alarm clock.
Yeah, it is.
The neighbor's Camaro.
That's how freedom tells you to get the hell out of bed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
But, I mean, he's a cool dude. So, like, I've seen him around.
Yeah.
I just hear it every morning. Like, no matter what, I'll wake up out of a dead sleep.
Really?
Car. Not that it's a.
No, it's just you're just aware of it.
Yeah. Like, there's no. And even with all the windows closed in the house, I still hear it. It's not a quiet car. But
yeah.
Sounds good. That's the difference.
That's why it exists.
Yeah, it sounds real good.
It's just not a Prius.
Mm-mm. It's a big old American V8.
And beautiful.
Mm-hmm. It is indeed beautiful.
So good.
So, Steph, where can people find you on the old internet?
On the internets. I'm in the middle of shuffling a little bit of that around, building out a website, which will be up soon. But right now, I'm promoting mostly on my personal pages. I'm trying to stop resisting the algorithmic challenges of having business pages. So I'm considering pushing over to the business pages of my social medias. You know, I have a music page on my Instagram at Steph Cabell Music. I might need to start putting stuff there instead of on my personal page, which is more_Cabell on Instagram. That's how you say my last name, by the way. It's Cabell, like cowbell. That's the more Cabell joke. For those, I get asked is it cable or cabell a lot. So yeah, Cabell. Like Cabela's. God bless it. And on Facebook I think my handle is Steph Cab CAB 25 on Facebook. That's really dumb, right? So I don't know what my music handle is. It's probably Steph Cabell Music, but I'm about to start using those more. You can't find me on Spotify or anything yet. I did a podcast about a month ago with Real Knoxville Music, Marble City Shakedown, and they recorded that. That's out there, you know. So I've got a couple of original tunes I played on there. That's currently the only audio that exists of those, you know, of my songs so far. So really, it's just on my socials. I'll post some videos and stuff. But as far as my originals go, that's kind of the only place it's heard besides live.
So we got to get you live.
Yeah, sure. I'm here to party.
That's the best way.
That's the best way to say yo. Heck yeah.
Well, hell yeah. Steph?
Yeah.
Thanks for being here and doing the thing and
Yeah.
sitting in the super secret studio couch and talking into the microphone with me.
Absolutely.
My name is Thomas Zachary, and this is the latest episode of the KAAMP. If you want to support the show, you can tell people about the show. You can show people about the show. You can write people letters about the show.
Show and tell.
You can show and tell. You can do all the things that a person, at least one of the variety of ways a person could share a bit of media. That would be really, really cool.
Yeah.
If you wanted to monetarily support the show, you could buy art from me via my Instagram at TTW Artworks. TTW_Artworks. Yeah, that one. And buy a fine painting of mine, and I would eternally be grateful. So thank y'all very much for listening, and until next time.